Proverbs 3, verses 13 to 17. Blessed is the person who finds wisdom and the person who acquires understanding, because her profit is greater than profit from silver, and her harvest is better than gold. She is more valuable than jewels, and all the things you can desire cannot equal her. In her right hand is length of days, in her left hand are riches and honor. Her ways are pleasant ways, and all her pathways are peace. So as we continue this section about a relationship with God as the foundation for wisdom, we are once again reminded to compare wisdom to riches or wealth, and to see that wisdom is by far more desirable than any level of wealth you can achieve. Now, first of all, remember who's writing this text. This is Solomon, a man who arguably was the richest man who ever lived, or at least the richest man in the ancient world. And yet he says that wisdom is more valuable than all those riches. In fact, in Ecclesiastes, he makes it very obvious that comparison to wisdom, riches are worthless. There's no value to them. They're vapor. They're going away. But how often do we believe that? How often do we believe that riches are just something that is passing, that could be here tomorrow and could be gone the next day? We don't believe that. We believe that money is something that gives me security. A big number when I log on to my online banking gives me a certain sense of peace, doesn't it? Even though it's just a number, and it's just a number that represents an agreement, a social contract between a big group of people, which is as valuable as the nation or the government that oversees that group of people until another currency comes up or a country conquers that country. Money is a vapor. And you know that in far more micro ways than maybe the destruction of an entire nation. You know that your job is only as good as the fact that your employer is willing to hire you, and that the money coming into the company, whether there's a lot or a little, determines whether you're worth keeping as an employee, or maybe potentially exactly how much money you get if you work on commission or on hourly wage. Money is a vapor. Wisdom is more valuable. Wisdom gives you the ability to take any situation, regardless of the variables, and put it into a correct perspective in order to have peace and to move forward as wisely as you possibly can. A wise person is the person who doesn't complain about their circumstances, but realizes their reality and makes the best of it. Unfortunately, in our society, we're trained, if something is not going our way, to complain about it or blame somebody else. Wisdom wouldn't do that. And actually, what this proverb then implies for us is that if we have that attitude, actually riches tend to come along with that. Because when you're wise, you tend to make, good decisions. You tend to make relationships with good people. You tend to be kept on as an employee. You tend to get promoted because you're making better decisions than other people. And while it's not exactly one-to-one, in general, riches come along with that. That's what he means when he says that in her right hand are length of days. In other words, your life is going to be better. And that's the right hand. That's the powerful idea of, this is what I'm first going to give you. But then, in her left hand are riches and honor. You're probably going to get those also. They're not the primary thing you're looking for, not the primary thing you're going to get, but they're still valuable, and they're still there. And so if you can train yourself to see the long-standing wisdom that you can build up that will last longer than any of your money, any sort of job, any sort of retirement account, any sort of investment as most valuable in your life, you'll actually be able to see whatever wealth you have, whether big or small, as something to be utilized for great wisdom for the people around you and in your own life. But if you can't do that, then you're going to be thrown about by the changes in your accounts, by the changes at your job, by the changes in investments, by the changes of a nation. And then you won't be a wise person. You'll be somebody who is a fool, pushed about by the latest thing that's happening, the latest thing that is said. So value wisdom more than money. That's how to grow up.